The young woman screamed as the villagers pushed her to the edge of the sacred river. Thick ropes held her hands, and a heavy stone was tied around her waist. No one stepped forward to help. Some lowered their heads in fear. Others watched in silence.
The sacred river will decide Tiwa's fate.
I am ready.
Step forward. The spirits are watching.
The water feels so cold.
It will cleanse you.
With one hard push, she fell into the dark river. The cold water swallowed her whole. As she sank deeper, the light above slowly faded. Then something strange happened. Far below the surface, thousands of glowing eyes opened at once. The river was alive. It had been watching all along. But the river had chosen her long before the village condemned her. What really happened on that day? Why did the sacred river refuse to take her life? This is an ancient African folktale about fear, destiny, betrayal, and the power of divine justice. It is the story of a young woman who was hated by many but protected by a force greater than anyone could imagine. Stay with us until the end to discover why the python goddess of Idemili never abandons the innocent. If you enjoy powerful African folktales filled with mystery, justice, and unforgettable legends, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us where you are watching from in the comments below. Now, let us return to the beginning. Long ago, there was a peaceful kingdom beside a wide and beautiful river. The people believed the river was sacred because it gave them clean water, rich soil, and many fish. They called it the sacred Waters of Idemili. Every morning, the villagers thanked the river before they began their work. They believed the powerful spirit watched over its waters and protected those with a pure heart. Near the edge of the village lived a poor widow named Nkem. She had no husband, no wealth, and no family to help her. Her small hut was made of mud and grass, but it was always clean. Every evening, she walked to the river, knelt by the water, and prayed with tears in her eyes. "For many years I have waited," she whispered. "Please bless me with a child. I ask for nothing more." The seasons came and went, but Nkem never gave up hope. Even when others laughed at her and said she would always be alone, she kept praying. Then, one dark and stormy night, everything changed. Heavy clouds covered the sky. Strong winds shook the trees. Lightning flashed across the land, and thunder rolled through the hills. Inside her small hut, Nkem gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. At that very moment, the earth seemed to hold its breath. A loud clap of thunder shook the kingdom. The sacred river began to glow with a soft golden light. Then, from the river, a great white python slowly appeared. It moved silently around the village, making one full circle before slipping back into the glowing water. By sunrise, everyone was talking about the strange signs. The village priest stood before the people and said in a loud voice, "This child carries the shadow of Idemili. Her life will change the future of this kingdom." Some villagers smiled with joy. They believed the baby had been sent as a blessing from the sacred river. But others stepped back in fear. "If she carries such great power," they whispered, "she may also bring great danger." As the little girl grew, the whispers never stopped. Some children were told not to play with her. Some mothers pulled their children away whenever she came near. Though she had done nothing wrong, she grew up feeling alone, with only her loving mother and the quiet river by her side. As the years passed, the little girl grew into a kind and gentle young woman. Her name was Adaeze, and although many people still feared her, she never returned hate with hate. She greeted everyone with a smile and helped anyone in need, even those who spoke badly about her. Soon, strange things began happening wherever Adaeze went. When she walked through dry farms, the weak crops stood tall again. Green leaves covered the fields, and the harvest became richer than anyone had seen in years. Farmers could not explain it, but they quietly thanked the heavens. When sick children cried with fever, Adaeze would sit beside them, hold their hands, and pray. Before long, the children opened their eyes, smiled, and asked for food. Their families called it a miracle. Then came a terrible season without rain. The rivers became smaller, and the ground cracked under the hot sun. The villagers feared they would lose everything. But each time Adaeze knelt beside the sacred river and whispered a silent prayer, dark clouds gathered above the kingdom. Gentle rain fell, filling the rivers and bringing life back to the land. Even the wild animals treated her differently. Birds landed on her shoulders without fear. Antelopes walked beside her through the forest. Fierce snakes lowered their heads as she passed. It was as if every living creature knew who she truly was. Still, Adaeze told no one about the greatest secret of all. Every full moon, when the village was asleep, she quietly walked to the sacred river. She stood at the water's edge until the river became still. Then the water slowly parted. From the deep waters rose an enormous ancient white python. Its shining scales reflected the moonlight, and its golden eyes held the wisdom of many ages. Adaeze never feared the great serpent. She bowed her head with respect. One night, the ancient python spoke in a calm and gentle voice. "You are under my protection until your destiny is fulfilled. The day will come when the truth about you can no longer be hidden. Until then, be patient, be humble, and never let anger rule your heart." Adaeze listened carefully and thanked the great guardian. She promised never to misuse the gifts she had been given. Before dawn, the mighty python slipped quietly beneath the water, and the river became calm once again. Adaeze returned home before anyone could see her. She kept the secret deep within her heart, knowing that some mysteries were meant to remain hidden until the right time. Not everyone was happy to see the good things that followed Adaeze. The chief's wife, Lady Nwaka, watched the young woman very closely. For many years, the people had come to her for advice and blessings. They respected her because she was the wife of the chief, and she enjoyed the power that came with her position. But now, things were changing. Whenever crops grew after Adaeze walked through the fields, the farmers spoke her name with hope. When sick children became well, grateful mothers thanked Adaeze before anyone else. Little by little, the people's hearts began to turn toward the quiet young woman. Lady Nwaka's heart filled with jealousy. "If this girl becomes more loved than I am," she thought, "I will lose my place in this kingdom." Instead of seeking the truth, she began to spread lies. She whispered to the villagers, "Have you not noticed the strange things around her? No ordinary girl can make the rain fall or heal the sick. She hides dark powers." Her words spread from one home to another. Fear grew faster than the truth. Soon, people who once smiled at Adaeze crossed the road to avoid her. Mothers pulled their children away when she passed. Friends stopped speaking to her. Even those she had helped now looked at her with doubt. Lady Nwaka was still not satisfied. She ordered Adaeze to work from sunrise until night. Every morning, Adaeze carried heavy pots to fetch water from the river. After that, she swept and cleaned large compounds until her hands became sore. Then she worked under the burning sun in the village fields, planting, weeding, and harvesting until her body was weak with pain. When everyone else sat down to eat, Adaeze was given only a small bowl of food. Some nights, she went to bed hungry, but she never complained. The villagers watched her suffer, yet few were brave enough to speak against the chief's wife. Even through all this pain, Adaeze refused to let bitterness grow in her heart. She continued to greet people with kindness. She still helped the old, comforted the sick, and shared what little food she had with those who were poorer than she was. Every evening, she returned to the sacred river. She looked across the quiet water and whispered, "Give me strength to keep doing what is right." The river flowed gently before her, as if it had heard every word. Not long after, the kingdom faced its darkest season. The rain stopped falling. Day after day, the hot sun burned the land without mercy. The green fields turned brown. Crops dried where they stood. Farmers looked at the empty sky with fear, knowing their families would soon have nothing to eat. Even the sacred waters of Idemili began to shrink. The great river that had always flowed with life became narrow and quiet. Cracks appeared along its banks. The villagers had never seen the sacred river so weak before. Many believed the spirits had abandoned the kingdom. As the drought grew worse, another disaster struck. The king's only son, Prince Obina, became seriously ill. A high fever burned through his body. He could no longer stand or speak. Day and night, the queen sat beside his bed, weeping as she held his hand. The king sent messengers across the land. The best healers came with herbs. Wise elders offered prayers. Powerful priests performed sacred ceremonies. But nothing worked. With each passing day, the prince became weaker, and hope slowly disappeared from the palace. At last, the king stood before the people in the village square. His face was filled with worry, and his voice shook with sadness. "My people," he said, "if anyone can save my son and bring life back to this kingdom, I will grant that person whatever they desire. No reward will be too great." The crowd fell silent. Many wanted the reward, but no one dared step forward. Every healer had already failed. Then, from the back of the crowd, a quiet voice broke the silence. "I will try." Everyone turned to look. It was Adaeze. Her clothes were old and dusty from her hard work. Her hands were rough from carrying water and walking in the fields. She stood with calm eyes and a humble heart. For a moment, no one spoke. Then loud laughter filled the square. "You," one man shouted. "The poor servant girl thinks she can do what the greatest healers could not," another woman mocked. Even Lady Knocker smiled with cruel joy. "This foolish girl wants to shame herself before the whole kingdom," she said. But Adaeze did not answer their insults. She simply looked toward the fading sacred river. Deep inside her heart, she remembered the promise of the ancient python. The time she had been waiting for was finally drawing near. That night, while the whole kingdom waited in fear, Adaeze walked alone to the sacred river. The water was lower than ever before, but it was still calm. She knelt at the river's edge and closed her eyes. Suddenly, the water began to glow with a soft golden light. The ancient white python rose slowly from beneath the river. Its great body moved through the water without making a sound. Its golden eyes rested gently on Adaeze. "You have walked the path of kindness," the great guardian said. "Now the time has come to reveal a small part of your destiny." The python touched the surface of the river with its head. At once, the water shone brighter than the moon. "Take this sacred water," it said. "Carry it with a pure heart. Remember the ancient prayer I have taught you." The joy in the kingdom did not last long. While the people celebrated Adaeze, Lady Knocker locked herself inside her room. Her heart burned with anger. The servant girl she had mocked was now honored by the king. Everywhere she went, people spoke of Adaeze's courage and kindness. "I will never let her take my place," Lady Knocker whispered. "If the people will not fear her, I will make them." That very night, she began her evil plan. She secretly visited a few greedy villagers and offered them money, food, and fine clothes. "When the king calls for you," she said, "tell him you saw Adaeze speaking with dark spirits beside the river. Say that she used witchcraft to trick everyone." The villagers knew it was a lie, but they accepted her gifts. The next morning, the king gathered his people after strange rumors spread across the kingdom. One by one, the false witnesses stepped forward. "I saw her talking to spirits in the night," one man claimed. "I saw the river glow because of her dark magic," another woman lied. A third shouted, "She healed the prince only to control the kingdom later." Fear quickly filled the hearts of the people. Instead of remembering Adaeze's kindness, they remembered the old stories that had called her cursed. They forgot the rain she had brought. They forgot the prince she had saved. The frightened villagers cried out together. "Witch! Danger! She must not stay among us." Adaeze stood quietly before them. She did not shout. She did not argue. She looked at the faces of the people she had helped and felt sadness, not anger. The king was confused, but the voices of the crowd grew louder and louder. At last, he gave a painful order. If she truly brings danger to this kingdom, she must be judged by the sacred river. That night, under a sky with no moon, the villagers tied thick ropes around Adaeze's hands. They fastened a heavy stone around her waist. Her mother fell to her knees, crying and begging for mercy, but no one listened. Without another word, the guards carried Adaeze to the edge of the sacred river. Lady Nwaka watched with a cold smile as the young woman was pushed into the dark water. The heavy stone pulled Adaeze deep beneath the surface until she disappeared into the black river. Silence covered the kingdom. The villagers slowly walked back to their homes, believing the servant girl was gone forever. Lady Nwaka smiled to herself. At last, she believed the problem had been solved. But the sacred river was not silent. Deep beneath the dark waters, the ancient white python opened its glowing golden eyes. The great guardian had seen everything. It had watched the lies. The story of Adaeze and the sacred waters of Idemili was passed down from one generation to the next. Parents told it to their children, and elders shared it around evening fire so that no one would forget what happened in that kingdom. The people learned that those protected by truth may suffer, but they are never abandoned. There may be times when lies seem stronger than honesty, but the truth always finds its way into the light. They also learned that jealousy destroys itself. Lady Nwaka believed that hurting an innocent girl would give her more power. Instead, her own lies became the reason for her downfall. The trap she made for another person became the trap that caught her. Above all, the kingdom remembered that the humble are often chosen for the greatest purpose. Adaeze was poor. She had no riches, no high position, and no one to defend her. Yet because she remained kind, patient, and faithful, she became the true guardian of Idemili's sacred waters. From that day on, the people treated one another with greater kindness. They judged others less quickly and listened more carefully before believing rumors. The kingdom became peaceful once again, and the sacred river continued to bless the land with life. Now we would love to hear from you. If your entire village had turned against you even after you helped them, what would you have done? Would you have forgiven them like Adaeze did, or would you have walked away forever? Tell us your answer in the comments below. If you enjoyed this African folktale, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another legendary story filled with courage, justice, mystery, and ancient wisdom. As the sun slowly disappeared behind the hills, the sacred waters of Idemili shone like gold beneath the evening sky. The great white python quietly slipped beneath the calm river one last time, watching over the kingdom in silence, waiting for the day its protection would be needed again. The end.